String 'em up. It was not something this kid from a farm in the heart of Illinois had heard before, or would forget. Sure, I knew what it meant, and I knew we whites normally weren't on the receiving end of a lynching. But this time I was part of the target. Let me back up. Diversity in the small community where I grew up began and ended with a single Jewish family. When I attended a small college not far away, there were very few black students. So when my pursuit of a graduate degree in journalism took me to Washington, D.C., in the tumult of 1968, a wrenching year in the American experience, my education galloped ahead down multiple avenues. Months earlier, the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. had ignited riots in Washington, Chicago, Detroit, and many other U.S. cities. Not long after that, Robert Kennedy was killed. At the beginning of my 4-month stay in D.C., violence struck the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. And while I was deep into my studies, 2 black athletes on the U.S. Olympic team in Mexico City sparked controversy when they raised their gloved fists in a Black Power salute as they stood on the medal platform and the Star-Spangled Banner played. Gold medalist Tommy Smith and bronze medalist John Carlos were booed by Americans in the crowd and soon expelled from the Olympics for their protest. About a week later, Carlos was to make his first appearance before the news media in a Washington news conference. I, the farm kid from Illinois, was sent to cover it. I have told the story of my first Washington news conference to friends and relatives, but never written about it, concerned that a wide-eyed kid's memory of what occurred decades earlier may not be accurate. I didn't want to represent an event even a bit differently from the way it actually occurred. Years later, when Carlos made an appearance at nearby Eureka College, Ronald Reagan's alma mater, I vowed to check his memory against mine. When I introduced myself to Carlos, he remembered the 1968 news conference clearly. Yet he wasn't part of much of what I'm about to tell you, and he couldn't verify it. Where our paths did cross, however, our memories are sufficiently aligned to give me confidence in my story. That day, when I hopped on a city bus in downtown Washington for the 32-cent ride that would get me to the news conference site, the immediate landscape was consistent with what was prevalent in Washington: a lot of white marble and a lot of black faces. Perhaps half the passengers were black people. I knew I wasn't in Minonk, my Illinois hometown.